So this summer, I took a 6 week trip to Europe and I had two weddings in Barcelona, Spain. So I spent a majority of that time in and around Barcelona. And Barcelona is a wonderful city, but as many people may know, it does attract a lot of tourists. Um, so it tends to be very overcrowded. So I wanted to make a list of places that if you find yourself in Barcelona for whatever reason, for a wedding, for work, for whatever it may be, I wanted to make a list of some of the places that I spent time in Barcelona to kind of get out of the crowds and find peace. And yeah, basically, I just wanted to make this list for, introverts who find themselves in Barcelona, Spain, and might get overstimulated by some of the really touristy areas. Because, yeah, I was really seeking these out when I was staying there. So I'll get right into it. So the first was a lovely park that was near my house, and excuse my pronunciation, but it was called Parc del Toro del Putet. And this was just a lovely park. It had some play areas for kids, but you basically, it's like a switchback up one of the steep hills in Barcelona, and you get a gorgeous view of the city when you're at the top. But there are a bunch of different like plateaus where you can sit and read a book and just enjoy kind of like a weekend morning or afternoon. The second was Monastery del Pedralbes, and this was one of my favorite places that I went on the whole trip. I got there as soon as it opened, and I believe this footage is also from a weekend, so it was pretty empty when I went there, and it was absolutely beautiful. It's such a peaceful place. They ring the bells on the hour, and it just feels like a lovely place to walk around and have a contemplative day and just to take your time. I would really recommend just bringing a book and sitting in the gardens because it's such a wonderful, peaceful place. I think it was an active monastery until relatively recently. I think maybe 2015, but yeah, I'll have to look that up. But yeah, this was far and away one of the best places that I spent time in Barcelona. Then, right nearby, there is the Palau Real Pedralbes, and this is a lovely garden surrounding a palace, and it has lovely fountains, and it's very nicely shaded. So, in the summer months, this is an awesome place to spend time. The fountains just give a lovely sound of trickling water, and it was just very peaceful again to just sit there and read a book. And again, also nearby, just a little bit further west, is El Parque de Cervantes, which is a rose garden and again, just a lovely park to hang out in and look at the different horticulture. Um, this is a really nice, there's a road called, I believe, Avenue Diagonal, which kind of is a diagonal road that cuts through the city. And this is at all the way the western end of it. Um, And yeah, it's an awesome walk to just like take a really long walk down that road and to end at this beautiful rose garden. The next place that I'm going to mention, and I'm just going to say the name in English to stop butchering my Catalan, but is the Contemporary Art Museum in Barcelona. And this is an awesome modernist building. It is a beautiful way to spend an afternoon or an entire day. There are lots of immersive exhibits and just a range of beautiful different art from all different mediums. There were some mobile, sculpture, paintings, and it is just a beautiful space to be in. It was very quiet. Again, I think I also went on a weekend and it was really chill and relaxed. And this area of Barcelona has lots of awesome like coffee shops and cafes and things like that. And it's also pretty close to the beach. So you can just make a whole day out of this. I absolutely love this museum. Then near the shore, there is the Botanic Gardens, and this was also an amazing day. I spent a lot of time here. These gardens are expertly landscaped, and again, there is a lot of beautiful modernist design throughout, particularly right at the entrance. There is a gorgeous pond, which has fountains in it, which make the most beautiful sound. And I really loved going there because they had a lot of different plant species from around the world, from places that have climates similar to Barcelona. So they had a section with Californian plants, which I thought was really, really interesting and cool. But this is just an awesome place to hang out and listen to the birds and get out of the hustle and bustle of the city. Well, speaking of getting out of the hustle and bustle of the city, this next spot is Tossa de Mar. So, this is a beach town about an hour north of Barcelona. So, I took a bus there and just for a day trip. And the main kind of village itself is quite crowded, just like a typical kind of like I think a lot of people from within Europe go there for holiday. There was lots of different accents around, but to kind of once you kind of get out of that kind of busy scene, there is a coastal hike, and this was one of the highlights of my whole trip. It's absolutely gorgeous views. It's very peaceful. The trail was not that crowded. And yeah, it's just an absolutely gorgeous walk of cliffs and then the gorgeous blue sea. I have another museum next, which is the Design Museum of Barcelona. And at the time that I went, they had an exhibit showing the works of Miguel Mila, who is a very prominent Spanish designer who is responsible for designing a lot of the the city architecture throughout Barcelona. So he designed not only some of the public transport seating, but also like the city and park benches and some of the city lights. So it was really, really interesting because at this point I had already been in the city for a couple of weeks and I had noticed these things, and it was amazing to see the full the full body of work from the designer who had created them. So not only did they have that, they also had a lovely exhibit that was showing women's fashions, at least for the past 100 years, maybe even earlier, and kind of showing the different trends in what women like to accentuate about their bodies and what they like to hide about their bodies, and how that was kind of reflected in the culture and politics of the time. So I found that exhibit super interesting. I think that one might be a permanent one, but the Miguel Mila one I don't think is permanent. And also a shout out that there is a fantastic design shop attached to this museum that is very pricey, but is definitely worth a browse because there's lots of beautiful handmade things in there, and very cleverly crafted things as well, kind of like the MoMA design shop here in the US. And the last place that I'll mention is the Parc de Labyrinth d'Horta. Again, excuse my pronunciation. Um, and this was also a favorite of mine. I didn't visit here until the very end of my trip, but it is another park. You can tell I love going to parks. It had a lot of neoclassical architecture, so I believe a lot of it was constructed in like the 1890s, but a lot of it is meant to look like, you know, kind of Greco-Roman architecture. So it was really interesting to, it felt like you were kind of in this ancient secret garden. But there is a labyrinth there that is normally open, and it's a great place for kids to kind of like, you know, it's like a hedge maze basically. And but it was closed when I was there, so I didn't get to experience the labyrinth. But it's an extremely beautiful kind of grounds and gardens, and it has wonderful water features all over. And it also has some trails that actually look pretty natural and not that cultivated. So it was an awesome place for me to kind of say goodbye to Barcelona. I think I went a couple days before I left. And yeah, it was absolutely beautiful. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video, and I hope that you check out some of these places the next time you find yourself in Barcelona.